I'd have to make my way up this mine shaft in order to go on. Maybe the machinery could help me with that.
Maybe indeed. Nice time for a puzzle. Very light puzzle. Those are my favorite kinds of puzzles. The ones that don't really require a lot of thought, but still make you feel like you accomplished a puzzle. And I love how this automatically rotates exactly the way it should. As if this was exactly how the miners themselves cut around. I thought I was about to climb that, but then I kick it down, and that confused me for a moment. The puzzle just got tough. Oh wait, not really. Nobody likes a tough puzzle. At least nobody living in my head. There are lots of people living in my head, and none of them like tough puzzles. And we're free! Up or down, up or down. Lovely flares. Get a nice view of the surroundings, you know, at night when you can't really appreciate it.
Lightning flashed behind the windows of Cauldron Lake Lodge. Tor Anderson laughed and held the steel hammer above his head. Nurse Sinclair was trying to calm him down without success. Tor grinned madly and shouted, "My hammer's up. Here's a friendly poke from Molnir, wench." He brought the hammer down with all his might on Sinclair's head. "We're on a comeback tour, baby."
And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, who are they talking about? What is happening there? But, I figured it out eventually. Because that's something, as usual with the manuscripts, ends up happening. It's just we're not aware of the, I think we've met a couple of the characters involved in that already, but certainly it's been long enough that I couldn't place them. Take that, birds! And that was that. Just a fraction of a second too early that time. Tried to challenge myself. That's what I get for challenging myself.
Oh, great. Another cable car. Just great.
Longest cable car ride ever, by the way. Look at that short distance. I think a woman pushing a baby carriage goes faster. The birds are no real danger at all. I mean, I don't know why I cared so much. I mean, if you watch my health whenever they hit me, it goes down a few pixels, really. Looking around madly. Looks like we're gonna go out like Kirk did. Nope, we lived. There will be no oh my's for us today. I really appreciated that those two guys were so easy to take down. Somehow it felt right for those guys to be easy. And then there's that.
Shit.
Stupid item limit. Ammo is always good. Yeah, that was a little bit of a jump scare right there. I admit it. It's a little close for comfort for me there. That's why I let loose. That's something I read in reviews that they were really annoyed at in this game, was that you were often punished for going out of your way to find the rewards. You know, to get the extra stuff, then you use up the extra stuff fighting off the new enemies they dump on you. Yeah, that was too far away. Waste of a bullet. Still, though, I was very happy with my performance in a lot of these battles in this series of parts. I do these parts 3 at a time. 3 20-minute segments at a time. Cauldron Lake, the 8th deepest lake in the world. Cauldron Lake is a caldera lake formed in a volcanic crater. The volcano itself could be considered to be active, but it has not erupted since the volcanic earthquakes of 1970, and even then the underground activity was comparably mild. Despite some property damage, there were no casualties. Cauldron Lake is one of the most beautiful spots in the Bright Falls area, as well as a central figure in many local folk tales. It's a popular recreational area for the area residents. I'm moving this mic around so much. It's going to be probably weird to amplify it. And of course you know that something's going to happen on this bridge. I mean, obviously. You don't have a bridge like this in a horror game and nothing happens. That, though, was not quite what I was expecting. I was really expecting the bridge to fall, and it didn't fall. I suppose we already had our falling moment earlier. And he bent down and I missed him. Oops, supplies. Supplies! Gotta fit that UHF joke in here as often as possible. If you haven't seen that movie, UHF, starring Weird Al Yankovic, you gotta do that. One of the best movies ever made. Total classic. And here's another one of those areas where I was wondering where on earth I was supposed to go. And that's where.
Maud had checked all of Stucky's rental cabins. There had been no sign of the Wakes. It was dark when he'd found their car parked at the end of the road by Cauldron Lake. It made no sense. They must have taken a wrong turn, but there was no sign of them, and the car had been there for hours already. Frustrated, Mott stood on the rotten ruin of the footbridge that had once led to Diver's Isle before it sank beneath the waves years ago. The boss wouldn't be happy.
I don't know if I recall who Mott is, or if we've met that character before. Maybe that's the kidnapper. Another seeming dead end. Don't want to fall down there. Time to go up. And of course, old scary house. Cross the mountain ruins. That's the new objective. These apparently are the mountain ruins. And of course, we're entering in through the basement. Nothing strange is going to happen in here. Nothing strange at all. You know, at this point I'm thinking to myself, wow, I've been playing this game 1 hour a week, and I'm having trouble putting together all the different pieces in my head. It's supposed to be a challenge even if you're playing the game basically from beginning to end over a few days. So I have very little idea of what's going on in this story. And I'm just, of course, waiting for an attack at any moment. Like right there. Now, of course, I am surrounded by the enemy. But that's okay, I have flares. And flare guns. Which is what I am now using to shoot these guys. It's a lovely thing, the flare gun. It gave me tons of ammo, tons of supplies, which I'm very happy about. I didn't get to use it all, and I kept thinking I had to conserve it because I need it all. But that went really well. I was very proud of myself for how well I got through that fight. Didn't take any hits. Okay, let's try this again. I wonder if I could have skipped that whole battle if I'd walked on the outer edges of the building. Ah, well, have to save that for a second playthrough at some point. Not sure there's going to be a second playthrough, honestly. Not for a lot of years, at least. I certainly enjoyed Alan Wake, this game, so much more than I have in any previous moment because I didn't have to worry about doing commentary at the same time as playing the game. So it was so much more immersive. Oh my gosh.
I could see Cauldron Lake. I thought I could make out the spot where the island and the cabin had been. There was a light near it. It had to be a boat. I was close now. I had to get there fast. I dreaded what I would find. I tried to hold on to Alice, but her form melted away. I was losing control. Dr. Hartman stood in her place. I wanted to hit him, but my arms were jelly. He smiled. It was a reassuring smile, and I hated him for it. I had to give you a sedative. Don't fight it. You went through another rough period. Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been for a while now.
Uh-oh. Certainly didn't like where that was going. But now I know where it's going. But I'm not going to tell you, because I don't want to spoil it.
Wait!
Hey, I'm here! I'm coming!
No! Get away! Sorry. Please, late. The boss didn't know who he was messing with. I didn't know. I swear, I didn't know. We don't have his wife. We don't know where she is. She's probably drowned. We just said we had her to make a play ball. You see? To get him writing for us. Please. Please. Oh. I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me. Ah! Ah!
The plot thickens. Never had Alice to begin with. There's somebody out there called the boss, who our kidnapper, quote-unquote, was working for. I wonder if it was Barry. See ya. Oh, that's like me in the morning. Alan Wake. End of the episode. End of episode 3. Thank you for subtitling the words.